So let's start this out. Any of those last night? Sydney, let's roll. 23. Let's look at 23, everybody. Before I start 23, Sydney, can I ask you your thought process to this?
Like, I was gonna try and store
Yes, yes. But what happened?
the I.
Okay. Same exact problem last period too. You don't do anything with the I. If you see an I in there and you're storing, you don't store in for I. When the I comes up, we're going to use the I button, which is right above the period. Okay, so let's look at this one real quick. Do you remember you got what you stored in there, Sid?
I did like 4 for X.
Yep.
And 6 for Y.
Yep. All right. So I'll do the same thing. So I'll go to my calculator for store X. You guys notice I'm going pretty quick now because we've done this a ton. And then now, all right. So I type in the original one now. There it is. All right. So parenthesis X plus Y, and this is what I was talking about. Now the I comes up. I take second period and then put the I in. I don't store in for the I. Then I have X squared minus X, Y, did it again, I, close it, oh shoot, minus Y squared. So that's what I end up getting. So now I'm going to go through all my choices and see which one matches that. So let me just go to the actual answer, which is choice 4. Is that a Y? No, X cubed minus Y to the third, I. Let's go. And it matches. So anytime the I comes up, don't store it. Just type it in your calculator. It'll handle it. Good, Sydney?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Other questions you had from last night? More. I'm looking for one in particular, actually.
The
What,
one
Jared?
above it, 22.
Okay, 22. Okay, which one has a minimum max Y value of 4 and a midline of Y equals 1? Now look, I get you guys are just going to see max Y value of 4, and you're just going to focus on these two graphs. Oh, here's the actual thing you should be focusing on, midline. There's only 2 types of graphs that have midlines, and they're the 2 we talked about this year. Those are only 2 that have midlines. Okay? Also, does everyone see here? Number 3, the max is not 4. Do we realize that in graph number 3, the max is not 4 because these arrows are going way above 4? So I'm automatically getting rid of these 2. And this is going to come up again today. So let's review it right now. So if I take choice 2, negative 3 cosine X plus 1. I know it doesn't ask, but how do you find the min and the max of that equation? Anybody want to dig deep and refresh our memories here? How do I find the min and the max of that cosine? Because I'm going to ask it again in a couple minutes. Go ahead, Sydney.
Negative 3 plus 1 and 3 plus 1.
Okay, right. Before I did any shifting, which is that last value, the C value, it was negative 3 and 3. It was that. But then I went up 1, up 1. So now you guys see my new max, 4. 4. So that's why it was going to be choice 2. Basically, if you had to guess, that's probably the last one you would have to guess, right? Because you don't, I guess you see 1, but there's nowhere you see a 4. You see a 4 here, and maybe you get all hyped up, but you forgot that it shifted up 1.
Wait, so how do you figure out that it's actually 2? Can you just elaborate more?
Okay. It's got to have a maximum of 4.
Mm-hmm.
I just proved that. This had a maximum of 4 and a midline of 1. Remember, Jared, midline equals your shift, which is your C value. Mm-hmm. And the C value here is 1. So the midline is 1 here. It's also 1 here, but it's got a different max than 4. If I found the max of this equation, it's not going to be 4. It's actually going to be 5.
Okay. But the minimum is
I don't care what the
You don't
minimum.
care about the minimum.
It just asks, find me one of these four, had a max of 4, and a midline of y equals 1. It didn't mention anything about a minimum. So I was just going over reviewing how to find the minimum. You good here?
Yep.
Okay, anything else you want to cover? Aaron?
14.
14. Whoa! What word pops up? It's game over. Nope, I don't standard deviation. I'm not concerned about that. There, yeah, darn right. Because anytime I see this, where do I go? Normal CDF on the calc. Yep, second bars. I head over to second bars. Again, can't help you with this in a couple weeks. All right, what are my boundaries now? If you read through the problem, how many of the students are between 64 and 68? So that's what goes into here, 64, 68. What's that number going to be? That is the mean, correct. That is the mean, which is 65 and a half. And what's that one? Next one. Standard deviation, 2.9. Now remember, when you do normal CDF, it just gives you the percent. It will not give you how many. It'll just give you the percent. That's how many. That's the percent of students that are between 64 and 68. To find how many, I take that number and multiply it by how many students? 3,300. That will only give you the percent. So there's about 660 students. It's 1,660. Yes,
Can
Jared.
I do 20, please?
I didn't think I asked you to do 20.
Oh, but I still just like to.
Can you come in?
Okay,
Because I don't have it up, and
no, that's fine.
is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Others from that group of 6? We're fine then? I'm not going to force it. All right, let's go then. Here we go. Buckle up. Numbers are going to be coming out too. 27. Here we go. 27. These are usually in the multiple choice section where you guys just store in the answers and figure out which one's correct, but that can't happen here. There is no multiple choice, so I need to go over how do I solve these fractions now, these equations with fractions. Just a quick comment here. I don't think any of you would ever think about doing this, but see how you might see always this term here, do it algebraically. What it's telling you is you're not allowed to guess. You won't get any credit for guess and check. If you somehow guess the right answer and plug it in and it works, you won't get credit for it. That's what that's saying. No guess and checking. You have to do it mathematically here. All right. I got denominators. Need a common one. Anytime I'm dealing with these fractions, I need a common denominator. I got n squared, n, and n squared. So out of those 3, can we figure out what the common one would be? I'm going to call on somebody here in a second. $13, anything?
N squared.
Nice job. I take the one with the highest exponent, n squared. I want to make sure we don't make you feel left out over there, Howard. N squared, good. So the common denominator is n squared. Anybody remember what do we do with it? This was way back in the first unit, I know. So what do I do with n squared?
Let 3 divided by n multiplied by n.
I multiply everything by the common denominator. Everything. Watch what happens. When I multiply this one by n squared, what's going to happen, everyone?
You get 2n.
No, what's going to happen? They cancel, don't, and that's what I want when I do these problems. I want every denominator to go away. Gone. Gone. What's left?
2.
Done. Here we go. 2. Now we go to the second fraction. I still multiply it by n squared. Now they're just not going to cancel out completely. This n here in the denominator will cancel out with just one of them. So what am I left with? just one of them with 3. So this is going to become what? Plus 3n. I want to get rid of the denominators. That's why you multiply by the common denominator. And then finally on the right, what happens when I multiply by n squared? They're gone, and I'm just left with 4. And that's what you got to solve. Remember, it's only 2 points, this question. There's no factoring, nothing here. That's what you got to solve. Move the 2 over. 3n equals 2. N equals 2/3. So multiply by the common denominator when you have fractions. Multiply by the common denominator. We'll do more of those. We'll do more of those coming up. Go ahead, Jake. What's up?
Should we make that a decimal for the n equals? No.
If you can leave it as a fraction, try to leave it as a fraction. Okay. Anything else I can answer? Okay, let's move. I'm going to go to 30. Yep, 30. Let's go, big dog. You can't come up to 28 points. I'm going to be pretty livid. That looks pretty intimidating. All right, cube root of all that, find the value a. That looks intimidating. Wow. 2 points here too, so it shouldn't be that bad. All right, well, first let's talk what they already did for you. See how they got x to the 5th here? How did they do that? When you take the cube or any root, you divide the exponent by it. So see how the exponent was x to the 15th and it was the cube root? That's how they got 15. They did x to the 15 divided by 3. And then they did y to the 9th. They did 9 divided by 3 and got 3. What's the only thing they didn't take care of inside the radical? What's the only thing they didn't touch yet? The 81. Everyone agree? They didn't touch the 81. All right, so what they're saying here is cube root of 81 is going to be equal to what on the right side?
To the
3 to the?
4.
3 to the?
4.
No. 3 to the 4 is 81, Tim, not the cube root of 81. Okay? 3 to the a, and that's what we're solving for. Look, they did the cube root of x to the 15. It was 5. They did the cube root of y to the 9th. It was 3. So the only thing they didn't take care of was the cube root of 81 and left it 3 to the a. All right, so how are we going to solve this now? What's the cube root of 81? Let's go.
So the
Go ahead.
x15 and y to the 9th, they cancel.
No, ready? Yep, here you go, Jerry. Ready? Here's basically what they did.
Yeah.
They took the cube root of each separately. And that's how they got, oh, sorry, I should put y, but.
So are those still relevant though, or are they just done?
They've been taken care of.
About them?
They've been taken care of already. The only thing that hasn't been taken care of is the cube root of 81. And they wrote it as 3 to the something, and I need to find out what that something is. Did we find out cube root of 81?
4.
No. 4. 4. 4. I think I had a big fit the other day, what we don't do. And when that's round in the middle of a problem, it's round like that. Oh boy. 4.326748711 equals 3 to the a. I think we've done this once or twice already. What are we ready? What are we solving for? A. Where is it?
1.
What is A?
Exponent.
It's an exponent. We're solving for an exponent.
So
Solving for an exponent. What's going to be involved then?
ln.
Oh boy. No, it's not. Nora, I got fired up.
Logarithms?
Logs. right? If you have to solve for an exponent, I need to bring the exponent down, and the only way you bring the exponent down is by logging the base. So you want to let's bring the a down. Take a look. Let's bring the a down. But if I'm going to do that, what do I have to do with the 3?
Fine.
No. Log it. If you're going to bring an exponent down, you need to log whatever it's with. And it's unbalanced, isn't it? What do I mean by unbalanced? What do I need to do on the left side?
Do the same. Follow suit.
What's that mean? I don't know what follow suit means.
Like follow suit with the other side.
Which means what?
Which means do the same thing. Like the a log 4.3267.
Why is the a on the other side now?
Or not a, just log.
You
No,
logged.
no, you just want log.
You logged one side. You logged the other.
Follow suit.
Yeah, I'll give you a suit. I knew what you meant. I need to hear log the other side. You're solving for a. What do I got to get rid of and how? Ooh, here we go. Who's got 10? Probably nobody, right? Nobody has any numbers anymore. Yep. Just blame it on the kid that's out. 12. Ready? How do I get rid of? What do I have to get rid of?
3.
More than 3. Because this a's got to be by itself.
Log 3.
Log 3. How do I do it?
Divide log 3 on the other side.
There you go. And now it should come out to be something nice. I hope. Oh, I am recording. Nice. Shouldn't be anything wild, right? Are your calculators leaving it as a fraction or no? Calculators leaving it as a fraction? No? What do you have in 1.3 repeating?
Yeah.
You know how to turn it into a fraction? Try to leave them as fractions if you can. What are we getting out here? Here we go. What are we getting out? 8. What do you have? What?
1.3.
4/3. Yep, which is 1. Now look, even if you wrote 1.3 repeating, we definitely give you credit. Dylan.
So there's a thing where like the sub, like where you do like a sub like log or whatever, is that like when you do that?
Never.
Do you know what I'm talking about though? Or no? Is there a thing like where like you put like log and then like kind of underneath it?
There, like I can ask you, like if I said, hey, let's graph, here's a piece of graph paper, let's graph log base 2 of 3x.
Oh,
That log is under alpha window, but anytime you're doing these types of equations where you got to solve for the exponent and you bring it down, you have to just use log, which is the one to the left of your calculator here.
alright.
Okay, right here. We're all good? 4/3? Okay, let's move. So excited to do this one. 31. Anytime I review something that I've taught this year, I get hyped up. Let's see how much we remember. See how well it went. Graphing sine and cosine. All right, I'm just going to give you a process because I think that's easier for you guys to remember than trying to do it on your own. Here's the process. First thing we're going to do is, what are my labels on the y-axis? Y-axis, because you got to put numbers on the y, numbers on the x. So let's first talk about what needs to go on the y-axis. I'm going to challenge you. Last period you knew all about it. There are 3 values. 3 values that should go on the y-axis. I don't want to know the actual values. I just want to know what they're called. What has to go on the y? You're going to represent period 4 right now, Jake. Period 4, you're going to let him rep for you right now. You got all three or just one or two?
I got 2.
Okay. It's a team building here. It's team building. So what are the two you know?
Amplitude and midline.
I'll take one of them. Midline's got to go on there.
Or maximum.
Okay. Maximum's got to go on there. And then certainly now, can we get the third, everybody? Minimum. Yep. All right. Those are the three that got to go on your y-axis. Midline's the easiest. You get it right from the equation. Midline equals shift equals your C value. Midline equals your shift, your C value. What's up there? 5. Now you got to do a little work for the min and the max. Anybody want to teach us here? How to find the min and the max. Oh, here we go, Aaron.
So you take the 2.
Okay. Go ahead. Just keep going. I'll stop you in a second.
And then you do +5. And that would be your max.
Okay, so you take the old max, which was 2, that number out in front, apply the shift. So my new max is 7. What about the min? Anybody? You're going to take that too.
I can take it.
All right, let's go.
So you do the
What was the old min?
-2
Opposite, -2, and now apply the shift.
+5.
Still +5.
And
So on the y-axis should be 3, 5, 7. And you can probably go by ones, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got it. All right, next. We did the y-axis. Now we got to figure out, this is a little bit tougher. What's on the x-axis now? This is the tougher part. You remember how many of the tick marks we had?
4.
4, right? I don't care how they're spaced. Just make sure they're evenly spaced. You want to go by ones instead? That's fine. All right, here we go. Anybody want to take this one? This one's the tougher one. How do I figure out what to put on those tick marks? Dylan?
Maybe. So you can find.
Thanks for prefacing before we started.
Find the. Do you like find the period?
Come on, let's go. Yes.
Okay. So P equals.
Ooh, oh, not on your form. You're gonna have to know this one.
Okay.
Oh, anybody help the poor kid out?
Wait, no, I think I have it. Pi.
Nope, stop.
No. 2 pi.
Howie?
2 pi. Sorry. 2 pi over b.
Yeah. We're team here, big team. 2 pi over b. B value, you say? Where can I find that?
In the middle.
In the equation, right? Hey, ready? A is 2. B, 1/2. 5 is C. So 1/2. 2 pi over. What do I do with that? We better know how to handle that. Fraction over a fraction. Oh.
You
2 pi.
Over
times
1.
2, right?
Times.
You take the denominator and flip it, reciprocal.
Okay, easy, boss. All right, look at this kid throwing out vocab here. Right. Yep. Blind squirrel finding an acorn. Way to go. 4 pi. Yep. So what do I do with that 4 pi? We're not there yet.
You need to divvy it up into all 4 periods.
All 4 periods?
Key value.
Key values.
Same difference.
I take the period and divide by 4, and I end up with pi. All right. So we did all that work. Good. So what do I put at this first tick mark? Pi. Next.
2 pi.
I keep adding pi. 2 pi,
3 pi.
3 pi, and the last one should be the period you found. But you got to be careful on this problem here. This is why this test drives me nuts. This is only a 2-point question, and it's going to be very easy only to get a point off. You won't see me graph out to 4 pi. Anybody take a peek at the directions? Graph on the interval of
0
0 to.
2 pi.
So once we graph whatever's here at 2 pi, mic drop, we're done. Okay, everyone, see that? Because it says, I only want you to graph from 0 to 2 pi. Do not make the full curve out to 4 pi. Once you hit 2 pi, we stop and we're done with the problem. We can't give half points off. It's a full point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is tough. It's tough. Especially if I don't like you, it'll probably be all the credit. You know? Who has this kid? Just take off full credit. All right, just take off full credit. Cosine, talk to me.
Minimum.
I thought I did so much work. I did so much work. If it had a negative out in front, yeah.
Max.
Max. I start at the max. 7. 7.
Wait, can you say those things like cosine is max?
Can I finish this problem, please?
Yes, go for it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Start at the max, then where?
Midline.
Midline. Once you get this, I think it's on. You just keep going, right? And then where?
Minimum.
And then I'm stopping, right? On this problem, I'm stopping.
Wait, why'd you do it?
I don't know why. Because I was on the left, non-dominant side, I guess. Just making excuses. It said go to 2 pi, and I did. And Jared, before I answer your question, can we talk about having self-respect and not being an embarrassment to this class?
Me?
Well, you included, yes.
Oh, okay.
You need to draw a line.
I know that, but not this.
Oh, I thought that was the question.
Cosine looks like that. You kidding me?
No.
No, it's a smooth curve, right? Let's make it look like it. Doesn't look like a V.
Wait, so would we get a point off of if it's not like a curve?
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know how they graded this one. They might, maybe. I definitely know you get a point off if you went past here. Even if it was like that, a little straight here. No, that's past 2 pi. As ridiculous as that is, it's past 2 pi. All right. That's why I'm saying be neat. All right, Jared, here you go. Ready? And anybody else that wants this? We were just on cosine, right? So max, mid. I didn't get to it. Max, mid, minimum, back to the midline, ends at its max. Now remember, anytime it has a negative out in front, wherever you see min and max is opposite. Okay? Go ahead. Anybody want to go over sine with me?
Midline.
Mid, yep. Starts at the midline, then goes to its max, back to
Midline.
midline, minimum, and then sine always ends at midline. Yep. Man, this period went quick.
10 more minutes.
10. Oh, never mind. All right. I thought I was looking at 5. Man, rusty. 5 weeks off. Everyone good? I was like, how did it go so quick? All good? Jared, we're all right?
Yeah, I think.
Everyone else? All right, I got one more question with you, and then I'm going to give you the 3 I need you to do over the weekend. You can start right now. Go to 32. You're not going to like what I have to say here, but this has not been taught, this type of problem. I probably should have been taught last year, but I don't. Exponential regression? Probably not, right? Okay. But it's not that big of like, oh my God, we've never learned this. How am I ever going to do well? Watch how easy this is because your calculator does all the work. All right. Bless you, Tim. You all right?
Thanks.
Okay. All right, here we go. I got a cup of coffee. T represents the time it's been left out, and F of T is the temperature of it. And it's asking me use these values to write an exponential regression. Anytime I see the word regression, and I'll show you all the types in a second, I'm going to let my calculator do all the work. So the first thing is I need a place in my calculator to put all these numbers. And I think you guys can probably guess where we're going to go to put them in. What do you mean by table?
Oh, it's not the frequency, is it?
No, well. Anybody remember where we put all a bunch of list of numbers? Where did we go here?
Stat and edit.
Stat edit. You got to go to your lists.
Oh,
yes.
That's what
That's what I meant. Yep. Stat edit. If there's anything in there, from your stats unit, highlight the list on top like I am, and then you press clear and enter to get them all out of there at the same time. So go ahead, put those numbers in list 1 and list 2.
Does it matter which side you put it
Yes, yes. Make sure you put the T, the X value, whatever, just a single variable in list 1, and then F of whatever in list 2. Be careful again. I know I mentioned this and it sounds like a joke, but you guys are putting in these numbers like you text. There's no autocorrect on your calculator. After you put all the numbers in, just take a quick glance, make sure all of them are correct. This is for any of these types of regression problems. All right, let me know when we're all good. Got them all typed in. Make sure there's no other values in L1 and L2 other than those. All right, here we go to the regression. We go back to stat. Calculate. Now, you guys have always been in 1-var stats, right, where you got the mean, median, mode last unit. Now, if you keep looking down, starting with number 4, you start seeing things with REG tagged onto it for regression. But I don't see anything that would resemble exponential regression, though, right?
EXP represents.
Let me do the teaching. There's more. See how there's a down arrow here? There's more options. Keep going down. Anybody see anything? Choice 0, EXP regression. Everyone see that on their calc? All right, so you go to choice 0 or press enter where it is. And your calculator is just asking, what list do you want me to use? Everyone put it in L1 and L2, correct? Because say if you put it in L3 and L4, that's what you got to tell the calculator. But we put it in L1 and L2. Frequency list should be blank. Store regression equation should be blank. I just go right to calculate now. And it should give me something that looks like my screen now. And we'll talk about what everything means here in a second. Literally, your calculator is doing all the work for you. Anybody not having this so we can talk? All right. The first line right here, y equals a times b raised to the x. They're telling you how to write this equation. This is how this equation is going to be written with the proper a and b values. X will stay x. All right, so let's go back to the problem. Y equals, now it says your a value, but hey, I got rounding directions though to pay attention to. 1,000. Easy, another way to get an easy point off because you don't know how to round yet. 169.136. What's it say next? A value times. So let's make sure we put our times. Don't make it look like a decimal. Your B value, also rounded to the nearest thousandth. 0.971. And then the calculator says to finish this, you raise it to the A times B raised to the X. Here's 2 points. Thank you, calculator. So that's where I go for the regressions. Put everything in my list and then go to stat calculate. And this is where I'll end it before I give you the 3 problems I need you to do. Somebody in last class ended. Is this all they're going to ask, or are they going to have like another part to this? The only time I've seen that they've had, say, a part B is they'll say this. Using your equation, what's the temperature of the coffee after 30 minutes? After 30 minutes, what's the temperature of the coffee? So how do I use this now? What do I do with 30? Plug it in for X, because this X represents, I guess we could have put T as well, but it doesn't matter. I plug in 30 for X and figure out what the temperature is. All right, so that's the only other thing I've seen. Questions? All right, here are the numbers. We're doing 33 through 35. 33, 34, 35, I'd like you to do. And you guys can get going with number 33 right now. It's a graphing problem. And period 3 tells me it doesn't cost students to print here at the high school. So let's print out some exams here, because it's kind of tough to graph without an exam.